Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So, for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And for tonight's episode, I disabled the subscriber mode, meaning whether you are a subscriber or not, if you feel inclined to enter a comment in the chat, you may do so, or I ask that you keep it respectful. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who are already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been there from the very beginning or just joined us latest today, I really appreciate all the love and all the support all of you continue to give me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, particularly when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. Your continued support really touches my heart, and I really appreciate it very much. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices, and a huge shout out to all those who watch from the clouds. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So, as you can see by the thumbnail, the discussion for tonight is why stereotypes exist. Before we get into the topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Okay. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. Now, I'm going to be talking again regarding the Super Bowl, but unfortunately, there was something that happened that was very unfortunate. Okay, um, there was a parade to celebrate the Kansas City Chiefs um, winning the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, unfortunately, there was an incident when there was some gun violence involved, and as a result of the gun violence, as we speak, uh, 15 people were injured and one casualty. Okay. Yeah, let's hit the like button. So it is very unfortunate that something like this happened, particularly on a glorious day, whenever there is a sports team that wins a major event, whether it be a Super Bowl, whether it be the World Series, whether it be the Stanley Cups, whether it be uh, the NBA championship. Whenever a team is victorious and wins the title, it's a time of great celebration for the city that they represent. Instead, now what we have to do is we have to mourn the loss of a person who was I think she was someone in the media. I don't recall her name, but the fact of the matter is she is she was someone's daughter, someone's mother, someone's friend, spouse, or what have you. Um, Let me tell you something. New York has the toughest gun laws in the country. Okay, the problem is we can have gun laws and continue to have tight gun laws, but the fact of the matter is, as long as the um, criminals um, gain access to guns and other weapons of destruction, I mean, that's not going to make much of a difference. And that's the sad part. Okay. because I do believe people should be able to have the right to bear arms. The thing is, they have to be properly trained, and they have to have, excuse me, they have to have, as you know, be psychological, have I'm going to go psychological knowledges and whatnot. Okay. Um, so when I have more information in regards to what happened, you will be informed. Okay. Okay. And another point, if there's going to be any type of gun control laws, it has to be unified. Okay. You cannot have 50 states with 50 different types of gun control. That's never, yeah, and the fact of the matter is mental health is needed because we're dealing with people who have mental health issues. Okay. So it is, again, it is very unfortunate that someone will happen to ruin what was a glorious day uh, for the people of Kansas City. And my condolences go to the family of the lady who died. Okay, it's a sad situation altogether. Also, I want to take this time opportunity. In my union family, we lost a dear member, Donna Ate, who passed away recently as well. Um, I don't know what her age. We don't know what was her men, her condition, but it was her time to leave, unfortunately. And I just want to say, I want to express my condolences to Donna Ate's family regarding their loss, because any type of loss it's a sad thing. It's sad. Okay. And we have to be mindful that um, tomorrow is not promised to anybody. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to take care of ourselves. We need to make sure that we make sure that we are sound physically, mentally, spiritually. Okay. Um, because it is a tragedy. It is a tragedy. So my condolences to her family. Okay. Now the reason why we're doing a stream tonight, because usually I do a stream on Friday night, but being that tomorrow is the services for my nephew, Jaime Alexis Santiago, we will not be doing a stream tonight. Okay. In fact, I'm not going to be posting anything on my YouTube channel tomorrow. Okay. So it's just going to be a time. Uh, thank you, every a time for reflection, uh, a time to acknowledge the life of the people that we hold dear that's no longer with us. So that's something we have to bear that in mind. Okay. So, with that being said, oh, this one thing, and I hate to hop on the Super Bowl. This is gonna be the last time I'm going to be discussing it. How could you, as a professional coach, do not know about the new overtime rule as it pertains to the Super Bowl? How the heck does that? How the heck do you do that? Now, for the benefit of those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there's a new rule that's in play in the Super Bowl. Okay, and basically, The old rule was basically the team that scored first in overtime wins. Um, with the new rule, each team has at least one possession. So they have an opportunity. So if one team scores first, the other team has an opportunity to score first to tie or go ahead and win. So not only did the coach did not know supposedly, but several players from the San Francisco 49ers did not know until they announced it in the Tunneltron, which is like where I mean, talking about screw ups. How could you not know about something like that? But it is what it is. Again, my condolences to the lady who passed away. My condolences to Donna Otley's family, and I just want to say a huge thank you to all those in various types of social media that expressed condolences regarding the loss of my nephew. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. So, as you can tell by the thumbnail, the topic for tonight is why do stereotypes exist? Okay, and a lot of see the reason why we have stereotypes is basically because we don't have a great deal of knowledge regarding people who are different from us. That's what it is. So, excuse me. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can. My computer's been acting up lately, so let's see if I can. Excuse me. I'm just going to read to you what's the definition of a stereotype based on the Dictionary Britannica, which is an often unfair or untrue belief that many people have about all people or things of a particular characteristic. It is racial, cultural stereotypes, the stereotypes of the absent-minded person. So basically, what that is, folks, is certain misconceptions, certain misbeliefs regarding people who are different from us. Okay. And they unfortunately they exist because unfortunately, uh, nowadays people don't bother to do their research regarding other people. What they just do is they just listen to what one person says about a certain group of people, and then base their everything regarding what one person said, and not even bother to try to do the research, not even bother to speak with these people so they can understand who they are and what happened. Okay, and there could be stereotypes when it comes to minorities. There are stereotypes when it comes to gender. There are stereotypes regarding certain communities. Okay, uh, like for example, one typical stereotype is that the Irish loves to drink and consume large amounts of alcohol. Okay, another stereotype is regarding Dominican people, where some people believe that Dominican women are gold diggers and Dominican men are womanizers. Okay, uh, any educated person know that there is good and bad in every community. Okay, that's always been my philosophy. That's always been my belief. And you cannot base everything based on what one person said or one person experienced. Okay, so that's something we all need to bear in mind. Okay, and there's I mean, look, and what one of the problem is, particularly when it comes to Latinos. Okay, you have some ignorant people who think that all Latinos are the same. And I get news for you. That is not the case. I have said this before on numerous occasions. Okay. You have uh, Latinos that were born and raised in the Caribbean, such as Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Cuba. And then you have Latinos that were born and raised in Central America, whether it be Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Costa Rica, Guatemala. Okay. And then you have Latinos that were born and raised in South America. And there's several countries that consist, make up of South America. Okay. And also there are differences between Latinos that were born and raised outside of the United States and Latinos that were born and raised in the United States, as we refer to them as the Latina diaspora. So, and unfortunately, to some ignorant people, we're all Mexicans. Okay, no offense to any Mexicans that are out there. I've been to Mexico 4 or 5 years ago. It is a beautiful country. You should go visit. Just that be mindful that any country you go to visit, you got to make sure that you try to blend in with the population and try to know as much about the culture as you can. Okay. And also, there's certain stereotypes when it comes to women. There's certain stereotypes when it comes to men. There's also stereotypes when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community. Okay. We have to bear in mind that everyone is different. Okay. And we also have to bear in mind that we cannot base everything based on what one person says about regarding a particular group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can share my group screen because I've been having some technical problems tonight. Okay. Just give me a moment. So I came across an article. Hopefully it will show up. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to have to read it. Okay, here it is. And this is from Hope College. And the title of the article is what are the causes of stereotypes? Okay, so let's take a look. Okay. So there's some video clips which I am not going to play because I don't want to get hit with a copyright strike. So let me just read what it says. The way we think creates certain stereotypes, categorizing people into groups. We think in terms of the categories we create from our own experiences. Those categories clarify the world for us, but they also oversimplify it. At some point, those natural oversimplifications can cross the line into stereotypes. We can think without using our categories, which makes it difficult to know when our categories hinder rather than help our ability to make sense of things. Okay, let's see. Yes, there are stereotypes when it comes to mixed people as well. And one thing we have to understand that there's several categories of mixed people. Okay, so that's another issue. Simply knowing about social groups can lead us to stereotype their members because we assume that there must be something important that led to their common classification in the first place, something that makes them essentially alike. We see close up the individual differences among members of our own social groups, but those in other social groups blur together in the distance into a homogeneous or everyone a minor variation of the same basic thing, or at best at least an exception, a way of acknowledging that someone doesn't fit your stereotype of the group without acknowledging that your stereotypes might be wrong. How- Even Greg and his colleagues created fictional social groups for research participants. Instead of set up good guys and bad guys and then setting out to see how they can change people's view of the groups. They try adding new counter stereotype information. They told people that over the years, members of the group changed significantly. They even told one group that they were got their names mixed up and that everything people thought that they knew about the groups were completely backward. The original views of two groups persisted. As the authors concluded, category-based stereotypes are like credit card debt and excess calories. They're easy to acquire than they are to cast aside. The things we hear create stereotypes. We learn from other people and the broader society. Let's see if we have anyone. Okay. Oh, before I forget, the link to join the panel has been pinned if you wish to come in and opine. Let me make this perfectly clear. If this is your first time here and you've never been in the chat, okay, you will be asked to camp in the backstage for the reason that make sure that you're not one of these type of weirdos that's going to flush anything inappropriate, which caused the people at YouTube to take down this stream. It's easy to see stereotyping when directed against you, of course. I am a fan of British mysteries, and as soon as a character introduced is a pious Christian, I know a very good chance that this person will be psychologically tormented and are a complete hypocrite and almost certainly will turn out to be a murderer. Odds are, however, I'm less likely to know the stereotypes of groups which I'm not part of. It can be difficult to know whether the information we read is accurate or whether it's influenced by stereotypes. For example, Cromwell, Debacle, and Rappaport 2022 examined 14,000 Facebook posts on a wide array of U.S. law enforcement agencies. Sometimes they include information about arrests on their site, and sometimes they mention race or ethnicity of the person arrested. It turns out that the arrests of Black people were overrepresented by Facebook by 25% on average compared with the actual rates of arrest. This is especially true in communities where they vote Republican and in communities with small Black populations. Citizens who follow their local law enforcement agency on Facebook probably are going to develop a distorted view of who commits crime in their communities or have an already distorted view reinforced and they have no way of knowing of what's happening. Yeah, I mean, look, stereotypes basically breed ignorance. Okay. Similarly, Miller and Schwartz found that in 2016, as a former President Donald Trump began tweeting negative things about Muslims, hate crimes against Muslims went up, especially in communities with a high percentage of Twitter users. Excuse me. Just give me a moment. Okay. Using FBI hate crime statistics, Washington Post journalist Philip Bump noted that reported hate crimes over the last decade tended to mirror dominant news stories. Anti-Muslim hate crimes rose during the 2015-2016 presidential campaign, and anti-Black crimes, already high, rose during the popularity of the murder of George Floyd in 2020. And anti-LGBTQ hate crimes rose in 2020, 2021, and 2022, when quite a few Republicans began claiming that LGBT people were grooming children to be gay. And this is just a graph to illustrate the point which I just read. Of course, we can learn the stereotype from people, whether they say anything or not. Three autonomous psychologists, Castili, Sackmeister, and Tomei, measure white children's attitude about both white and black people. Immigration from Africa to Italy has been a controversial issue for recent years. Two-thirds of the children say they would prefer a white playmate to a black playmate, and many of them describe white people as more positive terms than they describe black people. The researchers also measured the attitudes of the children's parents. Parents answered straightforward, explicit questions, e.g., black immigrants have jobs that Italians should have. They also took the implicit association test. It measured how quickly people associate positive and negative terms with black and white faces. The speed of our responses to pair words or concepts is a good measure of how strongly the two are connected in the minds. No, I have not. Okay. I have not. Now we will continue. I never heard of the Dolby test. Okay. The best predictor of those white children's level of explicit prejudice towards black people, the mother's implicit prejudice is measured by the IAT. The children picked up subtle cues from their mothers and often used not mother explicit statements to form their own stereotypes. Of course, the same type of stereotype transmission happens here. You think younger generation absorb racist messages, you haven't been paying attention. The ADL, formerly the Anti-Defamation League, a civil rights organization that fights bigotry against Jews, did an extensive survey of U.S. attitudes towards Jews in 2022. Excuse me, let's just get something to drink because my throat is dry. Excuse me. Among other things, they found that exposure to anti-Semitism is greatest in the media, social media, and from politicians. Now, many people reported hearing anti-Semitic remarks from friends and family in real life. However, when people did hear negative comments about Jews from people they knew, their comments had a big impact. People with anti-Semitic friends and family members are typically more likely to hold anti-Semitic beliefs and attitudes themselves. Sometimes the cues aren't so subtle. The next time you hear someone describe an anti-Arab sentiment as a result of 9/11, remind yourself that Jack Shalane's analysis of movable terrors of Arabs throughout the 20th century ruled by Arabs, while before the 9/11 attacks already had a culturally primed to see Arabs as basically alike, making it difficult to distinguish between small minority and violent and large majority that is not. Now, I don't know a lot of Arabs, but the Arabs that I do know, I would say over 95% of them are law-abiding citizens. Many of them do faithfully follow Islam, okay? Because, again, we have bad apples in every group. We made such a that we notice distinctive things. A single O in a few X's, a child in a group of adults, or a small number of women in a group of comprised large men. What happens when two distinctive things occur simultaneously? We exaggerate the frequency which it happens. Here's an example. Most people in the country are white, so people of color, in many contexts at least, are distinctive. They get noticed. In addition, most people of any color usually do good things, not bad things. So bad behavior gets more attention too. Put the two distinct characters together, and we pay double attention to the people doing bad things. The connection gets exaggerated in our minds, and we see it's more common than what it really is. Female manager with a prickly personality. The young black person who seems to glare at you in the parking lot. The older white man who is especially clueless about people who are different from him. The continent magnetism complex. But the bottom line is a distinct person doing a distinct thing catches our attention and influences in subsequent thinking. Yeah, let me just, excuse me, let me just highlight a couple of these comments. Yep, interesting. Okay, well, yeah, that's true. I mean, there was once, when children get well to get black dolls and white dolls, and seems like they prefer playing with the white dolls, and they consider the white dolls prettier and the black dolls uglier, even though beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Seeing that we come to believe that women are nurturing, downplaying to the extent which it may simply carry out responsibility roles, reverse the sex roles and the impressions that we have the sex exchanges too. Race like gender determines many roles people hold in the country. People of color are overrepresented in low-paying jobs, and or can be seen to white people as somehow destined for them. To this extent, we are more likely to see members of a particular group in some roles, and less likely to see them in other roles. We develop stereotypes as a result. Stereotypes can shift as male role shift, sometimes in surprising ways. Psychologist and stereotype expert David Schneider points out that it was taken as a fact during childhood in the 1950s that Indiana black people weren't good athletes, a conclusion that was drawn near the absence of championship teams. In hindsight, of course, it's easy to understand the sociological factors that prevented black students from playing to their best teams or kept black teams from playing championships. And however, it seems not to Snyder and his friends the logical deduction from their unbased observation about the world of crucial exploits. Our people watch NBA games and common watch equally rigorous conclusion that all black people are innately hyper athletic. What we believe depends on part on what we see, but we also see a function of social roles and arrangements that are created in a complex set of historical, political, and economic factors. And we're going to plot this here. So as we can see here, stereotypes can be formed in many ways. And again, yeah, okay, look, unfortunately for a lot of people, the perfect example of beauty is white skin. And the perfect example of not beauty is black and brown skin. Okay. Which makes no sense because, look, first of all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Number one. And number two, we have seen some beautiful women who are black. We have seen some beautiful women who are Latina. Okay. Yeah, and yeah, it is sad, but it is true. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share one more article. Okay. And again, let me make this perfectly clear. The link to join the panel has been pinned if anyone should wish to join in. If not, then I'll start to wrap this up. Okay, this might be a short stream because there's not a lot of activity uh, going on in the chat. Okay, so excuse me. Just give me a moment. So I'm just going to share one more article. Just give me a moment. I agree. I agree. There are some mixed women that are absolutely gorgeous. Okay. You know what? It's okay. I guess they'll probably catch it on the playback. Okay. But let me tell you something. There are some women that are drop dead gorgeous. Okay. Okay. Right now, I mean, what comes to my mind is what I've seen Gigi Cam up. I've seen pictures of Multi. They're both beautiful. Okay. So it is what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen one more time. Okay. So this probably be the last article I'm going to share. Okay. So as you can see here, let me just purchase. So the name of the title: Why stereotypes are harmful. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to just go through the important parts. Stereotypes are the idea that everyone within a certain group shares the same characteristics. We all think of stereotypes when we hear about different races, cultures, or genders. Stereotypes don't appear out of nowhere. They are based on ideas and experiences of certain groups and then extended to apply to an entire group. The problem is that people don't function solely as members of a group. We know this to be true about ourselves and our close friends. Most of us fit into different categories and have a variety of interests. We might like watching sports, but be non-athletic. We might like rock and roll as well as classical music. But when we think about other people, particularly people who are of different race from us, we often have a hard time understanding and complete. So we put people in categories and thus stereotypes are formed. Many stereotypes are negative, such as assuming that certain people are lazy, criminal, or poor, while seemingly positive, such as assuming that people are athletic, religious, or musically inclined. Others are just neutral about assuming that people eat certain foods or share certain similar hobbies, but all of them are harmful. Okay, let me just see if there's anyone. Okay. Here's the reality about stereotypes. They contribute to a dysfunctional class system. According to Dr. Monica Williams, both negative and seemingly positive stereotypes continue to keep people of color in a disadvantaged status. How could this be? Negative stereotypes are harmful to people of color because assumptions rather than personalized information can justify the denial of educational, employment, housing, and other opportunities. Even so-called positive stereotypes can be harmful. Dr. Williams shared that stereotypes about athletic skill and musical ability push African American youth away from college in favor of efforts to become athletes or entertainers. professions in which, statistically speaking, the vast majority are destined to fail. One stereotype is perpetuated and is up not challenged is the type of people of color are lazy. If not addressed, it can lead to infer that the stereotype is true. If one has never worked with a person of color and has repeatedly been taught that people of color are lazy, it's easy to generalize the assumption of all people of color. It takes many experiences with diverse populations to challenge stereotypes. And, a lot of work in attempting to challenge gender stereotypes, old-fashioned ideas that some toys are for boys or that women should stay home while men work have been challenged and progress has been made. There's still a long way to go, but the proportion of women with college degrees in the labor force has almost quadrupled since 1970. Statistically, more women now graduate with degrees than men. While the fight for gender equality is far from over, the same efforts to challenge assumptions and to provide equal opportunities for people, regardless of race, must be given to the same attention. The first step is to identify stereotypes. When you find yourself filling the gaps about a person, and stop and ask yourself, is this true or I assume it based on experiences with other people who look like her? And make an intentional effort to get to know people from different backgrounds. Brian Stevenson talks about the real need to get approximate. Other when we begin to interact with people who are different from us, our experiences of the other expand. It's important to service the rolling type of narratives about others that play in our head. Once stereotypes are challenged repeatedly, it makes it harder to stereotypes in the future. And we're going to park it here. Okay. So, what is my take about this? I mean, look, unfortunately, stereotypes are easy to form, okay? Because basically it's based on what someone else has said or someone else has experienced, not what you have experienced yourself. And we have to bear in mind that in every group, you're going to have differences. And let's see what Irby has to say. To be fair, white people got themselves stereotypes too much of us thinking that all are Karens and Bryants, and then all them rich. Okay. Now the reason, part of the reason why people have stereotypes regarding mixed people because unfortunately not many of them know them. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, you have different categories of mixed people. Okay. You have mulattoes. You have multi-generational mixed people. You have Blasian. You have people of the Golden Sphere. You have people who are part Asian and part what have you. So it's very easy to create stereotypes when you don't bother to try to get to know people. And people have been doing it for a long time. Okay. So what I would suggest, before you start making stereotypes regarding certain people, try to get to know who they are. Okay. Whether it be the Golden Sphere, I don't even know if that term still exists. Whether it be MGMs, whether it be light-skinned biracials, whether it be mulattoes, whether it be people who have black moms and white fathers, or white mom and black fathers, try to get to know each individual and don't make assumptions. Okay. If you're able to do that, you're not as likely to create stereotypes. Okay. Now, I've been talking for almost 50 minutes. So, if anyone wishes to join the panel and express a point of view, they can do so. If anyone wishes to comment, they can do so. If no one wishes to do either, then I'm going to put this stream to bed. Okay. And to be perfectly honest, I get it. Most people are probably going to watch this on the playback. You know, everyone has a busy schedule, so it is what it is. Okay. So anyway, what is my take when it comes to stereotypes? Okay, you need to educate yourself. Yeah, you need to educate yourself when you get in contact with various different groups. Okay, first of all, don't assume that all of them are the same. Okay, and I'm gonna speak on Latinos because again, it's the easiest thing for me to do. Okay, because one thing we have to bear in mind that in the Latino community, you have several different communities. Okay, Puerto Ricans think differently from Cubans. Cubans think differently from Dominicans. Dominicans think differently from Central and South America. And this is something that we ought to be mindful of. Okay. Yes, we have similarities when it comes to a language, which is Spanish. Yes, there are similarities when it comes to maybe religious views, like many of us are Catholic. However, there are things that make us unique. There are things that separate us. Okay, and we also have our own individual experiences, and that can be based on whether or not uh, you are a Latino that was born outside the United States or a Latino born and raised in the United States. One thing I have seen that Latinos, which are uh, second or third generation, uh, they become more and more Americanized because they're more likely to adapt to culture and thinking more themselves more as Americans as not as Latinos. Okay, and unfortunately, some of them are not able to speak Spanish. Okay, that I see with my own family. Okay, if you get past the generation which consists of me and my siblings, most of my nephews and nieces in the second generation, particularly or the third generation, do not speak Spanish at all, do not have a great knowledge in regarding the culture, because they think more like Americans. Okay, and one thing I would encourage those try to avoid creating stereotypes regarding people in general. Just be open minded and allow yourself to be educated regarding who they are. Okay, so with that being said, uh, I will be going back to my regular, more happier tone. It's just that, like I said, uh, it's been um, a rough time uh, with the passing of my nephew. And he was only 48 years old when he's passed away. But one thing I do appreciate from the bottom of my heart, all those who express condolences regarding his passing, whether it be in Facebook, whether it be in YouTube, whether it be in Instagram or TikTok. I really appreciate your love and support. And it means a great deal uh, to me and a great deal to my family. Um, so this is something to bear in mind, and it really warms my heart. So I'm gonna be doing 3 streams next week. Most likely, okay. Let's see. Most likely it's gonna be Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay. So basically, I'm trying to go back to the schedule that I had previously, which I kind of deviated a little bit because certain things happen in my life. Okay. Now, as I get closer to the day when I will undergo surgery, I will be sharing you like a blog, my insights, of how I'm preparing for my surgery. And the reason why I'm doing that is a support and encouragement to those who are either thinking about having a total knee replacement or they know someone that is going through that process. It could be scary because they fear of the unknown. Okay. But as FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, the only thing to fear is fear itself. Okay. So of course I'm gonna do my part to try to educate people so that if they do decide to go through the procedure, at least they have an idea. Okay. So with that being said, Irby, I thank you very much for stopping by. You're the only one that actually commented. Okay. And like I said, I understand there's not a lot of people out there tonight, but they'll watch it from the playback. No big deal. Okay. And again, I really do appreciate all the love and all support all of you have been giving me, particularly within the last 4 months or so. Okay. My the growth has been amazing. Okay. And again, the reason why I have been successful is because of people like yourselves who see fit to consume a content. Yes, okay. Everyone is more than welcome to leave comments after the stream is over. Because, guys, let's keep it respectable. Because any inappropriate comment will be deleted. Okay? And of course, my haters, they watch my stuff, even though they claim that they don't, but they're more like secret fans. So it is what it is. But let me tell you something. I really did enjoy this stream tonight, um, addressing wild stereotypes and how to avoid making them. Okay. I hope that this information is of some use to all of you. Okay. I think this weekend, what I'll do is I'll probably post a couple of polls. Okay. Which hopefully you will participate and then you will opine. Okay. Because unlike certain channels, this is not an echo chamber. Everyone, and I repeat, everyone is free to enter your comments regarding anything that I talk about. Okay? And I'm going to ask, please spread the word to other people in regards to this YouTube channel. Um, I'll always welcome new people onto this platform to express their point of view, and if they see appropriate, to um, support this channel. Okay, I'm just here to create content. I'm not here to make money. Okay, if I do, that does something. That's us an extra benefit. But basically, I'm here every week to produce content which hopefully you will find noteworthy and acceptable for your consumption. So, with that being said, I'm going to call this a night. Okay. I will be live on Tuesday night. Maybe I'll do a short video on Sunday. We'll see. We'll see. But in any case, I'm going to close with the same thing I always say all the time. We must do everything possible to reduce our influence by the mentally and intellectually challenged. Because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Irving, a huge shout out to you. You always come out every week to support this channel. I think you're like one of the most faithful supporters that I have, and I really appreciate you very much. So, um, with that, I just want to wish all of you a very wonderful weekend, whatever it is that you're going to do. Make the most of it, and we'll see you hopefully at the next stream. So, good night, take care, and peace.